Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Tonight, I'm super, super excited to talk about goal setting and why they're so important, how to do it, and specifically, I'm going to work through how to go gold, how to set the goal for going gold and how to get there, because I know the majority of people that I've been talking to lately have been saying, you know, an extra $1,000 a month would be a huge, huge blessing to my family. It would meet a big need. I could quit my job. We could pay off debt, whatever it is. I think gold is something relevant to our team, but and I think it's where a lot of you guys want to get. It's your next step. If you're already silver, if you're not silver, you might already have your eyes on gold. Anyway, okay, goal setting. Super excited about this, y'all. Before I jump in, can I just make a plug for our Let's Get You Started book? Y'all, you should all have one. It was in your success kit that you got with your welcome pack. If you have not read this cover to cover, you are missing out big time. This is like your manual for how to be a Plexus ambassador. Did you know there's even a glossary in the back? Okay, so when you look up Gold Ambassador in the glossary, it says, Gold Ambassador, when you personally sponsor and maintain a minimum of 3 qualified ambassadors and have a minimum of 100 points in your first 5 levels, blah, 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 blah. It like defines what is a Gold Ambassador. Really cool. It defines what is your elevator speech. What is the feel, felt, found method? I mean, just the glossary alone is amazing, but then you have this entire book full of how to succeed at this business. It is all here. And our very own Diamond Upline, Melissa Eichenhorst, played, and she's in here somewhere. She played a crucial role in writing this curriculum. So I know her face is in here somewhere, but I'm not going to take the time now to do it. But y'all, seriously, if you're like, I don't have the money to buy a network marketing book, don't worry. You already have one. It's probably collecting dust. So read this, y'all. Oh, my word. I was flipping through it earlier, and I was like, I do not remind you guys enough to read it. Okay, so goal setting. Let me share a bit of my story. I did not set goals in my life before Plexus. The biggest goal I probably had was meal planning. Like, can I, you know, I'm gonna meal plan this week, y'all. I'm gonna dream big and I'm gonna plan ahead before I go to the grocery store. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. That was like me working on goals. I mean, I would set little goals about like exercise or things like that, but I was not dreaming big in life. I did not have any aspiration that required me to know the skill of how to set goals and how to use those goals and move towards my goal, right? So when I started Plexus, I started around the same time as Laura Holzman. If you don't know her, she is my sideline. So Rachel Hofseth sponsored me, and she sponsored Laura. So we are sidelines. We're right next to each other. If you don't know Laura, she won an Olympic gold medal in the 2000 Sydney Olympics, okay? So when you're working your Plexus business with an Olympic gold medalist, you're going to learn a thing or two about goals. And one of the first things we did was sit down and be like, all right, let's map out our year. What is it going to look like? And if you've ever heard her train on goals and goal setting, it's awesome because she clearly knows how to set goals and how to reach goals and how to attain them. Big goals, not just meal planning, gold medals, right? So I feel like so much of what I've learned about goal setting is from Laura. So here is, I watched actually this morning a little video from Bob Heilig. A lot of you know that I love Bob Heilig. Follow him on Facebook if you're not already. His little 5-minute videos could change your business. If you watched his, I think he posts about 2 a week. If that's all you did to learn about network marketing, you would have everything you need to know. So this morning he was talking about the two-sided coin in network marketing. And the one side of the coin is what you want out of this opportunity. Your dreams, your aspirations, where you want to be, where you want this opportunity to take you, what you want it to provide for you. The other side of the coin is what it's going to take to get there. And the fact that you don't want to do it. The fact that you don't want to do what it's going to take to get you to where you want to be. We're talking the sacrifices it's going to require, the time it's going to take, the people that are going to join you and quit, the people that are going to give you a hard time about this, they're going to make fun of you. It's what you have to put up with. So it's this two-sided coin of, I want this. This could change my life, and yet I don't want to do what it's going to take to get there. It made me think of, and it's funny, I was running all this past Chris earlier, like, hey, what do you think? And he brought up the same thing. I was like, funny, you should say that. It made me think of the 12 spies that were sent into the promised land in the Bible. And in this story, God has promised Israel this promised land. It's going to be amazing. He's going to provide it for them. He already has provided it for them. All they have to do is go in and take it, right? But before they go in, Israel sends in 12 spies and says, go see what it looks like in there. They go in. You know, they probably thought it was amazing. They were like, oh my word, it would be amazing to live here. However, 10 came back and said, heck no, we're not going in there. They're huge. They're going to kill us. And it's just not happening. The other 2 came back and said, let's do this, right? Like, we have God on our side. He's already promised it to us. Let's go take this land that belongs to us. And I think it's a great example of the fact that the majority of people are not willing to do the work that it takes to get the good stuff, right? The majority of people are going to quit. The majority of people aren't even going to try because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in the opportunity. Whatever it is, the minority of people are actually going to set their goals, do the work, do whatever it takes, and get there. Now, I say all that because I want us to be the minority of people. I want us to be people that have those big dreams, have our goals in mind, and we do whatever it takes to get them. Because that's a reflection of our character, our integrity, our ethics, our hard work, and what we value. And I know all of you, and I know that's what you value in life. So I am going to take us on a road trip tonight. A lot of you know that Plexus is about to come out with their brand new training called the Rank Up Roadmap. And it is literally going to be a roadmap that takes you from a brand new ambassador to a diamond ambassador, if that's what you choose. You're going to have destinations along the way, and those are the different ranks. It's going to take you on different destinations to get to silver, and then different destinations to get to gold, and all the way up to the top of the company. So I'm going to take this illustration to the max tonight, okay? You spent $34.95 and bought yourself a car, okay? You bought yourself a car. This car is your Plexus business. It is your website. It is this opportunity, right? It came with a compensation plan. It came with a shipping department. It came with product developers. It came with an entire company that's going to provide marketing tools for you. But stop and think about the fact that you just bought a car for $35. That's huge. That is amazing that you could do that. You could buy a car that could take you wherever you want to go in life for $35. Okay? So your business is this vehicle to get you where you want to be. Okay? Your final destination is where you want to be. It is your hopes, it's your dreams, it's the biggest thing you can imagine in life. It is time freedom, it's financial freedom. And it's going to be different for everyone. Not everyone wants to go to the top of the company. Their final destination may or may not be diamond. It might be gold. They might be saying an extra $1,000 a month would revolutionize my family's life. We could get out of debt. We could do this and this and this. That's what I want out of this opportunity. Awesome. Some people, I hear a lot of people say Ruby is their big destination in mind. They're like, if I could be bringing in Ruby money, my husband could quit his job, this and that and whatever. And then other people are saying, I want to go to the top of this company. I want to go big and really make an impact on my family, my family's family, my friends, the world, right? With diamond money, you have like the sky's the limit with what you can impact. So in your mind, you have to picture your final destination. Now, this final destination needs to be exciting for you. It has to be motivating. You have to feel motivated to get there. It has to give you a sense of urgency of, I need to get there somewhat quickly. It also might leave you feeling a little nervous because you look at yourself sitting in your car and you don't know how to get there. You don't know what it's going to take to get there. But it needs to motivate you because here's the thing. If you get in your car and you start driving and your final destination isn't that exciting to you, what's going to happen? You're going to stop driving. You're going to pull over. You're going to get out of your car and all right, whatever. I'm fine just living life as it is, or you're going to go somewhere else. You're going to get off the road and drive somewhere else. So this final destination needs to be exciting and motivating, and you need to want it. You need to want to get there. Now, your why. We talk a lot about your why, and I loved it Super Saturday, at least at my location, they said that your why is your fuel. That is your gas. That is what you are filling your car with to get you to your final destination. It is the reason you are getting in the car in the very first place, okay, is to get you where you want to go. Okay, so we've got your car. You bought it for $34.95. We know what your final destination is. And your why is motivating you to get there, okay? So now you need some short-term goals. You need to break down this really long trip. For me, I'm picturing like from Dallas to New York City, or for some of you, it could be, from New York to LA or whatever. You're picturing this long destination ahead of you. You need to break it down, right? Into you're going to make stops along the way. You're going to need to fill up your gas again. You're going to need to do some car maintenance along the way. And you are inviting people to go on a road trip with you because you cannot get to your final destination by yourself. So you are inviting people to buy their own cars for $34.95 and join this road trip with you, okay? So you need to break down this destination into shorter term goals. Alrighty, you know your final goal. Now we're going to break it down. I love the acronym SMART when you talk about your goals. S-M-A-R-T. So S is for specific. Okay, your goal needs to be specific. And basically that's that final destination. Okay, you have something specific in mind of, I want to retire my husband. I want to quit my job. I want $1,000 a month to be able to put towards my debt or whatever. It's something specific in mind. It needs to be measurable. So for the sake of tonight, what I'm going to be talking about is pay points, okay? Because as you're growing your team, that's what we're measuring our team growth by, is how many pay points do you finish each month with, okay? A needs to be action oriented. So these goals are going to determine what are you doing on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, and on a daily basis. What are you doing, these small choices every day that are going to meet your weekly goals and your monthly goals and your long-term goals? R is realistic, okay? If I'm driving from Dallas to New York, it's not realistic to think that I'm going to get there in 10 hours. Okay, that's never going to happen driving in a car. It's just not realistic. So it needs to be realistic. You need to look at yourself, your circumstances, and determine what is a realistic timing for this goal. Last is that it's time sensitive, okay? And this is important because I hear a lot of people say, I want to go gold, I want to go ruby. It's like, well, when? When do you want this to happen? Give yourself a deadline, because if there's no deadline, there's no urgency. There's no time that's forcing you to get this work done by a certain point. If it's just like, I want to be gold one day, then it's like, well, okay, like, let's set a time limit on that so we know, well, when would you like this to happen? So that we know when to get you there, okay? So specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-sensitive. Okay, everyone hanging with me so far? Okay, now the cool thing about driving this car is that it's your car. It is not your upline's car. It is not their upline's car. It is your car. You get to decide the final destination. You get to decide the speed at which you're driving to this final destination, okay? So when people come to me and apologize for not working their business, I say, well, I don't know why you're apologizing to me. It's your business. Like, apologize to yourself. You're the one in the car. So if you feel bad that you're not going somewhere, then you need to talk to yourself, okay? I'll help you. Like, I'll help encourage you, motivate you, give you some tips on how to drive to your final destination. I'll help train you and teach you how to get there. But by no means should you ever apologize to your upline. They are not your boss. You are your boss. You are the owner of the car. So if you ever feel bad that your business is not going at the pace that you would like, you need to talk to yourself about that, okay? And talk to your upline about maybe how they could help you. But no need to apologize to your upline about the pace of your business. It is your business. You own it. You bought the car. If the car isn't going where you want it to go, guess what? Change directions, okay? You're holding the steering wheel. You get to decide where it's going. Now, I will say, before we get into breaking down the numbers of gold and whatnot, what was I going to say? Oh, okay. So along this road trip, you are going to run into traffic. Okay, you're going to hit some potholes. Your car's going to break down. Your engine is going to need some maintenance. And you're going to be driving on the road, and guess what? People are going to be passing you. Okay, and you're going to be thinking, oh, how'd they figure out how to fix their car so that they can go faster? I want to go faster. Right? Like, I ranked Ruby the same exact month as Autumn McLeese. Autumn McLeese is now an emerald. Okay, her business took off. The girl hit momentum and she just went for it, and it was so exciting. And so it's like, well, my car's not going that fast, and that is okay, because the number one rule is you have to enjoy the ride. You have to enjoy the ride. You have to have a sense of humor along the ride. You have to be willing to grow. That, y'all, basically what I'm saying here is that this car maintenance that's going to be needed to be done to get you there is personal development. There's going to be times where you realize you need to learn more maybe about the business. You need to grow in your boldness. You need to grow in your communication skills. I mean, whatever it is, there are certain factors that are going to allow other people to go faster and other people to go slower. But at the end of the day, you enjoy your ride, you enjoy your journey, and you don't compare your car with other cars, right? So, wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so let's break down gold. Now, I am going to share my screen, and hopefully I'm wanting y'all to see, I'm wanting y'all to be encouraged, right? Can everyone see that little going gold sheet? Okay, so month 1 is the month that you join, okay? So month 1, the goal for month 1 is to go silver, okay? That should be everyone's first initial goal. So that by the end of your first month, you have 3 total ambassadors by the end of the month. That is the goal, right? Doesn't always happen. Sarah Marble was one of the diamond ambassadors at our Super Saturday. It took her 7 months to go silver. One of her ambassadors was her mom. One of her ambassadors was her husband, who she signed up without telling. And her third ambassador, her sponsor gave her and said, for heaven's sakes, let's get you to silver already. Take this person and sign them up. And that is how Sarah Marble, one of our diamond ambassadors, got to silver after 7 months. But what she realized after those 7 months was how much personal development she needed. And so that is what she focused on. And then I think she flew to Emerald in less than a year after that point. So we're going to talk in somewhat ideal terms tonight. But if you're going to set goals, you have to make them specific. And you have to dream big, and they have to scare you a little. So month 1, we're going to say your goal is to go silver, right? So by the end of month 1, you've got 3 ambassadors. You will not have any pay points your first month because, and this is key, guys, this is a crucial part of our compensation plan you need to understand as you're setting long-term rank goals. You do not get pay points for a new ambassador until they are commission qualified. So a welcome pack, think of it this way. You are earning a business building bonus off the welcome pack. You do not earn pay points off the welcome pack. So in other words, Plexus isn't going to pay you twice for that welcome pack. Does that make sense? So you're going to get that business building bonus off their welcome pack. They could be commission qualified their first month if they go 100 PV over their welcome pack. So if they sign up and the next day their mom buys a triplex from them, guess what? You're going to get pay points for them that month. However, in terms of planning, I typically don't plan on that. I'm going to plan on the fact that however many new ambassadors I have one month, I'm going to get pay points for them the next month. And you'll see that more as we flesh this out, okay? So month 1, you have 3 ambassadors, 0 pay points, okay? So your second month, you're going into the second month, you have 3 people that have joined you. And let's just say that 2 of them are wholesale customers. They just are interested in the wholesale prices, but one of them is interested in joining you with the business. So we're going to say between the 2 of you, you're able to add, between the 2 of you, you're able to add 5 ambassadors that month, okay? So you have the month before, you have the 3 that you added, then you have the 5 more that you 2 added this month. So your second month, you now have 8 ambassadors under you, okay? So how many pay points are you going to have? You're going to have 15 pay points, right? Because you're looking at the previous month. So you're looking at the previous month, you have 3 level 1 ambassadors at 5 pay points each. So you have 15 pay points. That's how many pay points you're going to end with at the end of month 2. Okay? Okay, let's keep going. So, totally forgot to say, our goal is to be gold on month 5, which is 100 pay points. Whoop. Well, that just doesn't work if it goes down to the next line. Okay, we're just going to put a G there. Okay, so our goal is by month 5, we want to rank gold. Month 5. I kind of did this backwards, y'all. So let me, all right, let me erase this and I'll start over. So you want to rank gold by month 5. So that means month 4, you need to finish month 4 with 20 ambassadors, okay? Because you're not going to get pay points for all those 20 until the following month. So this allows us to work backwards. So you set your goal, you put the time limit on it, and then you work backwards, okay? So we know if you want to rank gold by month 5, then you need 20 ambassadors in month 4. Now we'll go back and add in, all right, I see the chat. That's 20 on the whole team. Yes, 20 in your first 3 levels, because you get 5 pay points each for your first 3 levels, okay? So we're assuming that these 20 are your level 1, 2, and 3 ambassadors. If you have lower level ambassadors, it could be, if you have level 4s and 5s, it could mean that you need 22 or even 23 ambassadors, okay? So we're going to go back to where we were. So from here, typically I start doing math about here, and I'm going to take you guys all the way to Ruby, okay? Just so you can see how it keeps working out and how you set your goal and work backwards, and you set your goal and work backwards, okay? So from here, I know that month 1, my goal is going to get 3. So between 20 and 3, in those 2 months, in those 3 months, I need to add about 17 ambassadors. So what I do is kind of evenly disperse them and think through realistically what could happen. So I did this ahead of time. So you're guesstimating, right? You're completely estimating, if I can add 3, and then the next month, if me and 1 or 2 of those 3 people could add 5 and get me to 8, and then the 8 of us, right, if we could each add 1 ambassador, or if 1 person could go silver, at this point you're mapping out names. You're saying, okay, if month 3, if we could add 7 ambassadors and get to 15, then month 4, if we could add another 5 to 7, get me to 20 to 22, then that's going to get me where I need to be in month 5. So in terms of pay points, we're talking, you want to end month 2 with 15 points. You want to end month 3 around 40 pay points. And you want to end month 4 around 80 pay points. Now, even though I have it broken down for how many ambassadors you need to end each month with, you really want to go off pay points, because pay points is going to be how you rank. And like I said, let's say you add 1 person and they take off. Their entire leg takes off, and before you know it, you have level 4 and 5 ambassadors, and you're getting lower pay points for them. It doesn't matter how many ambassadors you have. It matters how many pay points you're getting, okay? So let's go back to our driving illustration for this. Let's say that I'm driving from Dallas to New York City, and my first stop is St. Louis, okay? let's say on that first day I hit traffic in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I don't make it to St. Louis on time. Okay? Is my final goal still New York City? Yes. But am I going to need to adjust my timeline a bit? Yes. Okay? So the final goal doesn't change. But your stops along the way, you might need to make up some lost time for, right? So that next day that I'm getting in my car to go from Tulsa to St. Louis, I'm going to need to make up for some lost time. So in other words, your pay point goals don't change, okay? So let's say month 2, you and your team aren't able to add 8. You're only able to add 6. Well, your goal is still, so that means the following month you're going to end with 30 pay points. Well, your goal of 80 pay points has still not changed, okay? So that means you're going to need to add a couple ambassadors right here. Is 17 the right number? No. I'm good at math, y'all, I promise. Okay. Oh, someone trying to help me out here. Okay. See you, Jolyn. Okay. So let's say you only add 6 in month 2. Your goal of 15 is still the same for month 3. You're just going to have to make up those couple ambassadors. So let me give you an example. When I was going for senior gold, I always kept track of my numbers, right? Of like, okay, I'm at 30 ambassadors. I need to end this month at 40. Let's say I only ended the month at 37. Well, I knew that the following month I was going to have to make up for those 3 ambassadors that we didn't add that month. I needed to tack that on to the next month. Does that make sense? So whatever my goal was for the following month, it just grew by 3 ambassadors because we didn't get 3 ambassadors in the month that was just ending. So your goal stays the same, but you adjust what all it's going to take to get you there. Okay, so let's keep working and maybe you can see a bit more how this is going to flesh out. So, man, I can't even fit there. Okay, so oh, come on. Your goal then is in month 9 to be senior gold. To be senior gold, you need 250 pay points. Okay? So now we're definitely into some lower levels. So rather than dividing the pay points by 5, for the sake of math, I think I divided them by 4. So you know you're going to need to end this month between 50 and 55 ambassadors total if you're wanting to be senior gold the following month, okay? Because you get pay points the following month on all those people. So basically, you set up to rank and you rank the following month. And then you work, and you get yourself set up to where you have all the numbers one month, and the following month is when you actually rank. Does that make sense? So month 8, you are getting yourself set up to rank in month 9. So now we're going to break down between 20 and 50 ambassadors in those 3 months. And I think I did it pretty simply. I said, all right, we're just going to go with what I wrote down. And again, you're totally estimating here. And the numbers don't always make sense. Let's even just say 55, because that's probably more realistic. So you kind of take, okay, between 20 and 55, let's break this down into 3 months. Now, the other thing, so then you can fill in the pay points for those. So that would get you there, because if you have 30 ambassadors, we're going to say about 150, 185, 235. Okay. Again, it's all rough estimates, but you got to make a plan. You got to start somewhere. Okay. What was I about to say? Oh, the other thing you need to count on, guys, and I think this is part of the realistic part of setting goals, is, you know, I'll hear people say, well, I want to go gold. Okay, when do you want to be gold by? A year from now. And I'm thinking, okay, so your goal is to go gold in 12 months. Well, here's a bit of a challenge with that, is there's definitely an aspect of our business called attrition. And attrition is the fact that people quit Plexus, okay? They will try it out for a few months, even they'll try it out for 6 months. They'll give it a go. And for whatever reason, there's all sorts of reasons, they will quit. A good average attrition rate is between 20 and 30%, okay? So for every 10 people that you add, 2 or 3 are going to quit, okay? So when you spread that out over 12 months, when you're trying to get 20 ambassadors over 12 months, you're going to need to get far more than 20 ambassadors over those 12 months, because by the time you get to month 10, you've got people from month 2 and 3 that are quitting, okay? And you're going to have to make up for that. So slow and steady does not always win the race when it comes to this business. There has to be urgency and momentum that's going to get this ball rolling, right? Momentum is when you add 3 people and then you get them to add 3 people and then you get them to add 3 people. And we talk about the power of 3 all the time. And that's why, is because the power of 3, there is the potential for momentum. So you're thinking, well, what about people that aren't interested in the business? You can get to gold on purely wholesale customers. I have a friend, she's now senior gold, but she got to gold primarily with wholesale customers. Not many business builders at all. You can do that. Here's the challenge, is you can get to gold that way. You cannot get to senior gold that way. Okay, if you're wanting to go beyond gold, you are going to need business builders that join you. The other thing is that wholesale customers are typically not in it for the long haul the way that a business builder is going to be, okay? So when you are signing people up, you really need to ask yourself, should this person be a customer or should they be an ambassador? Now, some people are going to want those wholesale prices no matter what you say or recommend, and they, by all means, can do that. That's part of Plexus Perks, is that you can be a wholesale customer with no quotas. You can turn your backup order off. There's no penalties, anything like that. But as you're thinking about building your business, know that if you only ever share the products, you will only ever get customers. If you share the business opportunity, you will get business builders. So if you're wanting to go to even gold, most people need some help getting to gold. You can get to gold by yourself. It's hard. It's going to be a long haul. It's going to be a lot of work. It'd be a lot easier to have some help. So to get a couple business builders to help you get to gold, and you will absolutely need business builders to help you get to senior gold and absolutely beyond. So that's something to keep in mind too, is attrition. People will quit, they will leave, and needing that urgency and momentum. And at some point, especially at the beginning, it's good to get a faster pace, not a fast pace, but a faster pace going to where you're adding people and they're adding people and that momentum builds up and your team can really take off. I mean, that's how people go fast in this business, is it's momentum that gets them there. It's not necessarily just them. It's them and their team and everyone going at the same time. Okay. Let's go ahead and work all the way out to Ruby in a year. So Ruby, and this was essentially my timeline. It's a little stretched out, but we're going to say you need 120 to get there. And then I just worked backwards between 55 and 120. I said, let's go to 75 there and 100 there. So that's around 450. Okay. So this is a great way to map out. Some people start with a year. Some people say, where do you want to be a year from now? And work backwards from there. I kind of prefer this way to some extent because it allows you to set that initial realistic goal for gold. You could by all means stretch this out to, going gold in 7 months or 8 months or 9 months. But again, you're going to have to compensate for attrition. So your numbers won't really change at all. Like the numbers on the paper are going to stay the same, but what's going to end up happening is you're going to have people drop off. So even if you end month 4 with 20, or let's even say if you end month 3 with 15, well, month 4, you might lose a couple. So now technically you're at 13. You've got to make up for that and get to 20. You've got to add more that month. The other thing I wanted to talk about, guys, is really taking ownership of your goals. And I've always used the phrase respect your goals. And just what I mean by that is don't set a goal flippantly. Don't set a goal and think, oh, I want to be gold in 4 months. But really in your head thinking, what if that doesn't happen? Whatever. Like, whatever. If that doesn't happen, like, who cares? Or if you're thinking, but if that doesn't happen, I wouldn't be surprised. That's so self-deprecating. It's so, you have failed before you've started. You've sunk your ship before you have even set sail. When you set your goal, you set it with confidence and you set it with belief that it's realistic and it's attainable and it's doable. And if you put in the work to get there, it could absolutely happen. So you're setting your goals hopefully, not wishfully. It's not just wishful thinking. It's saying, I want to be gold by month 5. And here's what I'm going to do to get there. You're making a plan and you're going to see it through. You're going to make adjustments along the way, but you're taking ownership for it. There have been months, guys, where it has been coming to a close and I am, 5 ambassadors short of my goal. And I'm talking to my team like, hey, how's it going? Who are you talking to? Do you think you'll be signing anyone else this month? And it's coming back like dead silence. Guess who's responsible to meet that goal? Because it's my goal. I need to go out and find 5 more people, or at least find a couple people to where I'm setting myself up the following month for success. So there have been absolutely months where I'm looking at my team and for whatever reason, like as a team, we're not bringing in people. So guess what? That falls on me to go out there and get the work done because it's my goal. It's not my team's goal. It's my goal. So it's my responsibility to meet that goal at the end of the day. So that's what I mean by respecting your goal and taking them seriously, is to commit to it and be committed, be determined, and know that you can do this. So from here, we have our year goal, we have our 6-month goal, we have our monthly goals. We know how many ambassadors we need to end each month with. So now you break it down into weekly and daily goals. Now, typically, what that's going to look like, I'm going to go ahead and stop share. Okay, so typically, what that looks like then is knowing how many ambassadors you need to personally sponsor that month and how many collectively as a team. So that's where a bit more leadership comes into goal setting, is because you're now training your team and helping your team go silver, right? We talk about that all the time. And I've had people say to me, well, how do I help them go silver? I'm like, well, you do for them what your sponsor did for you. You are helping them set up 3-way calls. You're helping them set up events. You're doing events for them and with them. You're doing, whether it's online or in person, but you are giving them reasons to get into activity to where they are talking to people, and you're helping them talk to people, and you're helping them recruit people. You're sharing Plexus on their behalf at times. That's essentially what a 3-way call is that as the sponsor, you are sharing Plexus with their friend on their behalf. And they did the work of getting the person on the call with you. Now it's your responsibility to share Plexus and help close the deal, essentially, that you're the one there to help kind of seal the deal and provide that validation that what your friend was saying to their friend is true, and that they do need to try Plexus. So sometimes it's going to your team and saying, okay, we're going to do a challenge this week that, we're all committed to talking to 30 people this week. Who's in with me, right? Now, some people are going to be like, peace out, I'm not talking to 30 people this week. But the people that want this opportunity are going to join you. Maybe it's you go to your ambassador and say, okay, your goal this week is to get me on the phone with 3 people. I want to do 3-way calls with you this week, okay? And so you're giving them those weekly goals that are going to help them meet their goals, okay? It's going to help them get to silver, and it's also going to help you reach your goals. So that's why this business is all about helping people reach their goals, is because as you help them reach their goals, it's going to help you reach your goals. And so I heard Jen Hawkins say once, she said, basically it's the idea of I'll pull you up and you push me up. That's the nature of our business, is I'm going to help pull you up to the next rank. And as I do that, you're pushing me up to the next rank. And, you're pulling your person below you up to their rank. And so it's this big chain effect and teamwork. And that's why in Diamond documentaries, you hear all of them thanking their team, is because they were doing the work with their team. Their team is who helped them get them to where they're at. So you're breaking down that big goal into weekly goals and daily goals. You're helping your team meet their goals. And it is just all about goals, goals, goals. So that is all that I had planned. I wanted to leave a little bit of time for questions, because I know this can get a little confusing, especially if you've never done it before, which I had never done it before Plexus, like I said, so know that I've been in your shoes. So if you have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself, and then we can go from there. Or you can type it in the chat too. Okay, so Laura said, I can talk and lead people to that point, but I can't make them drink jump. This is the challenge. I'm assuming you're talking about the business, Laura, that, yeah, okay. So exactly. Yeah, and that goes back to the beginning of where I said, like, it's the minority of people that are going to want to take advantage of this opportunity. I mean, look, we have me and 4 other people on this call tonight, and I have hundreds of people on my team. Now, I know there's logistics and things that keep people from attending, but even if there were 20 people here, that is still the minority of hundreds of people on my team. So, yeah, it's the minority that's going to want this, that's going to be hungry. And so I think it puts the responsibility on me to clearly communicate the business opportunity to people, because I think most people are either ignorant, that they're like me, like they had no previous network marketing experience, or if they do have previous network marketing experience, they're reading that into Plexus and they don't realize that Plexus is completely different, that our comp plan is different, that our business is different. So, yeah, I think it puts the responsibility on me to clearly communicate and make sure they understand the opportunity, make sure they understand the simplicity of it, and help build their belief that if their belief, typically where their belief is the weakest is in themselves. Okay, that it's going to manifest itself in different ways, but they'll see that the products work, they'll see that the compensation plan works, but at the end of the day, they don't believe they can do this for all sorts of reasons. It could be practical reasons, it could be insecurity reasons, it could be personality, whatever. But yes, it's finding those people that want it and locking arms with them and running. I mean, the business builders that I had when I was going senior gold, most of them are not with me anymore. Most of them have quit. Okay. So if that tells you anything, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think, yeah, most of them, the majority of them have quit. So yeah, it's true. Any other questions?
I guess I can unmute. That makes sense why Rachel was talking last night, that the goal would be to just be helping people get their product paid for.
Yeah.
Because if they get their product paid for, they're either going to understand the process, or the possibility of them staying longer is higher if it doesn't cost them anything.
Right.
So that's why that would be her. That's why she was talking about that as the goal. So I appreciate that, Ben.
Yes.
That makes it more doable.
Yep. Yeah. Help them get some customers, help them get, that first and second and third check to where they see, oh, this works. Like, and yeah, the likelihood of them sticking around or even catching the vision for more is way more possible, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, like, a wholesale customer, that's the other thing, is if someone signs up and they say they're not interested in the business, are you still sharing the power of 3 with them? Are you still sharing silver with them? Because working the business, in my mind, is going gold and senior gold and ruby, right? But going silver, anyone can go silver. Everyone knows 3 people. And so just because someone says, oh, I'm not interested in the business, I think we can still say, awesome. Well, like you're saying, awesome. Well, let's help get your products paid for, because I have no doubt you know a few people that need Plexus. Or let me share the power of 3 with you and show you how simple this business model is. And so I don't think it's being obstinate. I think it's just making sure they know what they're saying no to.
Right, that makes sense.
Anyone else? Alrighty. Now I will say this. If you are here tonight, or I know a lot of people are watching the recording of this, if you need help mapping out your goals, please let me know. I would love to help you map them out. Because it's what, like I said at the very beginning, it's what keeps you motivated. It's what tells you what to be doing every single day. That if you know that you need to add 3, and you know that 2 of your level 1s need to add 3, then you're going to know what you need to be doing each week. You're going to know how many, what your personal IPA should look like, and you're going to know how you should be training and motivating your team. So it actually makes business quite simpler, because there aren't so many question marks of what should I be doing, or when I sit down to do my Plexus time, what should I do? Your goals give clarity and definition for that time. You know exactly how many people you need to contact that day. You know exactly who on your team you need to talk to and hold them accountable. And you know how many people you need to be adding every month. And don't be intimidated by that. I think most people, especially if you have personally struggled to add people, take that into consideration with your goals. That's part of setting a realistic goal, is taking into consideration what you know you're personally capable of, but also step it up a notch and be committed. And it's so much your mindset, guys. It's so much your mindset of just as simple as saying, I hope it happens, to it's happening. Like saying, I'm not leaving this month without 2 ambassadors, 2 new ambassadors on my team. Or I am not leaving this month with 5 new ambassadors on my team. It's happening. It has to happen. In order for me to get to my goals, it has to happen. And so I am going to make sure that it happens. So it's that mindset of determination and respecting your goals and taking them seriously, to where there's that urgency of this has to happen. If I'm going to reach my goal 5 months from now, this has to happen this month, or this has to happen today. I need to talk to these people today. So much of it is mental. So much of it. And just being determined and saying it's happening. And that's really what, going back to Laura Holzman, that's the way that she would talk about goals. And so it was like, well, if that's the way you talk, that's the way I need to talk. And it was almost like duplication, in a sense of like, well, if you're saying that about your goal, then I better say that about my goal. Otherwise, you're going to meet your goals and I'm not, because you're going to be taking yours seriously and I won't be, and it just won't happen. So, yeah, I feel like I did learn from a pro. I learned from a pro goal setter. All right, guys, anything else? All righty.